Hey everybody, we are here at Explora, getting ready for Science Fiesta. You guys excited? Welcome to the Make at Home series of YouTube videos all about making in your house.
First episode.
This is the very first one. I'm
Yes.
excited. Are you excited, Lyric?
I'm very excited. Yes.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Lyric. Hello.
And today, what are we doing?
We're making instruments. We're making music. We're making noise.
And maybe a little dance party every once in a while.
Yes.
Just get it out there.
Oh. Right on.
Well, let's talk first
Yeah.
about the science of sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you make music, hit those maracas again. Your little... Yeah, when you make that sound, things are vibrating, right? Let's look at this tuning fork here.
We have a massive one. Here's some tiny ones here.
There's some smaller ones. And when you hit a tuning fork, you can hear this vibration. And that vibration creates the sound that we hear when we're talking, when things are banging on each other in the kitchen, when we're singing, and when we're making music.
Yes, sir.
So here's our giant tuning fork.
Yep.
Lyric, why don't you demonstrate the power of this ginormous beast?
Let me just do it right here.
Can you guys see that? As she hits the tuning fork, you can see it bouncing back and forth. If you need a better example, why don't you give it another smack off of this ball here. Can you guys see that ball bouncing between the legs of the tuning fork? Yeah. So those vibrations that causes the ball to bounce back and forth is the same vibrations that allow the sound from the tuning fork to make such beautiful music to our ears. So let's make some instruments, right?
Yes.
What are we gonna do first?
Alright. So what we're gonna make first is a drum, and so there's so many different ways we can make it. That's what's cool about making. So we're gonna just use the supplies we have on hand. We have some super cool examples here using these thicker cardboard tubes and cardboard. Thanks. Also, shout out to Trish here. She's helping us with our sound.
And behind the scenes work with the camera, making this Facebook Live look beautiful for you guys.
Camera woman. So here's some drums here. So how we are going to make our drums. I have some tin cans. Would you like one?
Yes, I would like one.
Yes.
Thanks.
Here you go. And what I'm going to use for mine, we went and grabbed all the different things we could. We have some gloves here. We have balloons. So this is what I'm going to use for my drum, though. I'm going to use a balloon. So what I did, Anthony's going to kind of demonstrate here. I have simply just cut the bottom off of my balloon here. And so Anthony's going to go ahead.
I have a full balloon and a pair of scissors. So I'm going to... You said the bottom part?
Yeah, the bottom part. And you can mess with it. So I cut mine a little bit lower down. Yeah, so you can even try to cut yours further, and we'll see if it makes a difference.
Kind of like a third the way up where the balloon starts to get fat.
Yeah.
And this is the tricky part. Sometimes when you
Stretch
cut the balloon, there we go, stretch it.
That's,
Would you consider this music here, this little...
Oh, yeah. I can't even do that because my nails. But that's right. So
and then we're just putting it across the pan?
Yep. Anthony has some skill here. It took me a minute.
Fat fingers.
Boom. Boom. All right. And so, yes, so this is, it does have, the metal can has one side attached to it. So even that has this different sound, right? Name that tune. Just kidding. No.
I wish I could say I was Jamie Foxx.
Right? And so we'll try on the rubber side now and let's see how it sounds. Hey. Nice. And so, I mean, ours is a pretty small surface, right? Drums can get pretty big. And so try that at home if you can. Even pots and pans, right, are the infamous go-to, I think, for drums.
Right.
See what different sounds you get when it's wider versus when it's smaller. Try different materials out and see what sounds you can make.
Yeah, the key with drums is that it's really all about percussion, right? This the act of hitting it. And so, you can try different types of, we call this a membrane. So you can try different membranes. I think professional drums use a type of leather across the surface. You can think of like the bongos, they'll have a different kind. Even the steel drums that they use in the Caribbean is more like this side. So you get that kind of like metallic ping. So think of the different materials that you can use. Think of different membranes. Think of different, like, the frame part of it. We're using a can.
Right, like this one here. And this one's hollow on the bottom. And the way they've taped it out kind of stuff, or they've secured it, is there's these pegs in here. And so the lid is lifted off of it. So that's going to have a different type of sound, right?
And that's just a piece of cardboard, right?
It's one of those tubes, like and it's a little bit thinner than this, but you can find these types of tubes on just different things you have. Maybe even you just have like a paper towel tube, and you can try to cut it down, right?
Yeah, paper towel tubes. This looks like it's from like a fancy gift wrap, maybe.
Right?
To just see what you have lying around the house. Start banging on things with your parents' permission.
Yeah.
You can even,
Hey.
bang on yourself.
Nice. All right. I think that's pretty good for the drums, right?
Yeah.
So see what types of different drums you can make. Percussion, right?
Percussion.
Nice.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just wanted to highlight a couple of instruments. You saw me in the beginning bang on this this triangle. And let me grab my little tuning fork that I had here. This is a similar type of percussion, right? It's all about the vibration of the metal. And believe it or not, the length and size of the metal actually changes the sound. And we'll get to that a little bit later when we get into some other kinds of instruments. But for now, I think you have another kind of percussion instrument, right?
We're going to go on to the maracas.
We have a question about the drum.
Oh,
Yeah.
drums.
Does the noise on the drum also depend on how big it is?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Very good question.
Can we demonstrate? You have the two different size objects there.
Yeah. So here's this one. Well, let's see. Oh, no, we don't have like a smaller kind. Yeah. So here's this one here, and it's hollow. And this one's much wider here than our can. It's a little bit wider. The membrane, as Anthony was talking about, does have holes in it, so that'll change. But let's see. So there's that one. Let's try this one that's smaller. The pitch. So will it change the pitch of it? Is that what it is with the size?
Yeah, think of like a bass drum, right? Versus like I think they're called hi-hats. Where it's like a versus
Ooh.
like a boom, boom, boom. And you talk about the marching band when they have those really big drums that they're walking with, right? So the size and the depth of it. So we're looking like not just wide this way, but also wide this way.
Right.
Those will create different sounds that you'll be able to play with. So if you have like a really big thing, like a tub, I think we did bring some kind of tub here.
Boom!
Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can stretch a balloon across the top of that.
All right. Thanks.
Oops. I'm going to cut a glove.
Yeah, because we might have to try the glove. Let's see. I'm willing to try this, though. Let's see. Challenge accepted. We might make it.
Oh, I believe in you, Larry.
Oh!
All right, let's try the glove. Oh, that broke too. We might not get to the glove today.
I know. Let's see. I wonder which way we can cut it. Or it's just, are you going to
Try just doing it like that, because when I pre-cut the bottom, it just kind of tore.
Okay. I'm going to give it a little bit of a
But
stretch here.
even if this doesn't work, some drums actually are open on the end, like Lyric was demonstrating with the first one. And so you'll get a different sound if it's completely enclosed or if it's open on one side.
Oh, you know what? I should put the fingers facing inside.
And, ooh, let's try that.
Right?
So the volume of the area also matters.
Yes, volume, surface area.
Oh, then I can't really bang on it.
So when we say volume, we're talking about the number that represents this space. But surface area is more like the number that represents this space here.
Yeah. Because it's a glove, it's hard to
We need a
hit
bigger
the top.
balloon.
Yeah. But the side has a much different sound than like this plastic cup might, right? So if we have this one and stretch the balloon on that one, right?
Hopefully, let's give it a try.
Let's try it out.
This is one of the coolest things about making, right? Is that you might not get it to work perfectly. You might fail while trying to set it up, but that's okay. making is all about the experimentation. You want to come up with an idea, design it, see if you can get the ideas down onto paper so you have something to work with. Then you build it.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, you go back to square one and start again. If it does work, you test it out. And then you see if the results from that test give you what you are looking for. And if not, you go back and try it again. And if it does work, maybe you can make some sort of improvement. Like Lyric got the glove to stretch across the surface here, and it's not quite working the way she wants it to. So she tried doing something else.
This looks crazy with the glove too. It's kind of funny. But the sound, I'm wondering if I can even hit it with like that, and then let's see this sound. So very different, right? So it's the same material, but just different sounds, different sizes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very different sounds. All right, so now, are there any more questions about the drums?
No, we're good.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's just move on to our next segment.
Right? We'll be making some maracas. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, right? We have this beautiful one. This one's really pretty. Has some feathers on there. Beautiful sound. Right? We have some example ones here of some cans that looks like they've just been resealed. And that sounds like rice to me.
I think, that sounds like rice.
Right? But what we're going to try, I think we should try to do, here's a tube for you too.
2 tubes.
2 tubes. We're going to try using toilet paper tubes to make ours. We have some noodles. We have some beans. So maybe do you want to make yours with beans and I'll make mine with noodles?
Sure, and then we can compare what the sounds are like.
Yeah, let's do it. And so we're going to do it. We're just going to tape the top of ours shut. But you can definitely use a balloon if you want, again, to cover it. But we were going to try some tape to see.
Piece of paper could work too.
Yeah.
Play with the materials. That's what this is all about.
It's all about. Check it out.
When you were shaking the professionally made maraca there, it reminded me that older maracas you'll see are made out of like gourds and different types of vegetables that when they get dried out, the seeds detach from the inside, and so the seeds from that gourd is what's making that famous maraca sound.
Oh, wow. Just naturally made.
And one thing I like about maracas is lots of cultures have different kinds. So like I'm Puerto Rican, so Puerto Rican maracas, they're not usually made from gourds, but they have a similar shape to this. Versus, Native American maracas will be more of the gourd variety. They'll make them differently in Mexico, in Latin America, down in South America.
Yeah.
Every culture has like their own version of all of these instruments, honestly.
That's beautiful, right? Yeah.
I don't know, mine's not working out so well here.
I kind of had to go crazy.
I was going to say, I'm taking my time, and
Yeah.
you're just
I'm
laying
like,
it on there.
Yeah, so I put layers and layers and layers and made it nice and messy. But it's pretty solid. Oh, that could also be little.
I got to go ham just to get mine as prepped as yours.
Sounds good. And so the different noodles I have a ton of different noodles in here, so I'm going to just kind of spice it up and add all the different for macaroni, panini.
So I sent out a question saying, what are y'all making today that makes noise, that makes music with us?
Yeah.
I had one that answered the noise in my head trying to do math. Rather than my brain.
That's a real
That's a
answer.
good one,
That's a real answer. Seriously.
I love it.
Right?
I go swimming every morning.
Ooh.
And I get water stuck in my ear a lot. And it's interesting that like if you move your head side to side, you can hear the water rushing in because our eardrums actually work quite like a drum membrane. That thing is like vibrating back and forth inside of our ear, and the water pushes on it and pulls on it, so you get this like whooshing sound.
Right? And it's crazy because we had just talked about this the other day too, about like how our voice sounds to ourself compared to what it sounds like. You're like, when you just, like, when I go back and watch this, I'm going to be like, yeah, like, but it's kind of crazy how, because you were saying, right, even just like our bone structure, to us, it's going to sound different, right?
Yeah, so when I talk to the camera, right, my voice travels out of my vocal cords to the microphone, but when I hear the sound in my voice, it's a combination of the sound that comes out here, but also the sound that travels through my bone to my eardrum. So it's kind of like a mixture of those two sounds, and that's what our brains hear. So when you hear a recording of yourself, you only hear the one, and then it sounds really weird, and you're like,
Who's that?
"That's what I sound like." Gross. Gross. I'm gonna test mine before I put tape on the other end to see if I get the sound that I want.
I like that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
sounds
and add more.
All right.
Test it again, and then maybe I'll just take some out and see how that. Yeah, I'm feeling it with way less than I just added.
Yeah. The
Alright.
rhythm.
How much is yours filled? Is yours? Mine's about halfway. I put
Mine's
about half
also.
full
Let me
of
see.
beans.
Mine's a little less than half.
Okay.
Just a little less than half.
So
You
let's
guys
let's do this scientifically. I'm gonna try. Hold yours up. I'm gonna try and get mine to be as many, at least volume-wise, as lyrics here.
Cool,
I'm gonna
cool,
pour a little out. Like I said, very scientific. So my bean count is exactly the same as her pasta count over there. That's sarcasm for you folks.
And then the good old tape.
We're just taping them closed, right?
Yeah.
Tape
And-
is a maker's best friend.
Right? Hot glue gun.
And hot
I
glue.
was gonna say and hot glue.
Can't leave out the hot glue.
Which you gotta be careful with though.
This is another one of those activities that you can experiment with at home. You can, you could try a can. It's a bigger volume, just like the drums. You can try other shaped objects. It doesn't have to be perfectly cylindrical
Yeah.
like this. Gourds, they're kind of a funny shape. They look like acorns, maybe some sort of like weird squished circle. Try all kinds of shapes and things.
Because even this, this tube will probably sound even way different than this one, right?
Right.
If I was like to put the same amount.
The reason why the maracas sound a little bit different from drums have this like big open space, right? So you hit it, and the sound vibrates around in there. Whereas with maracas, there's lots of little things inside, banging against each other,
Mhm.
banging on the walls of whatever object you're making. So it's sort of closer to white noise. Like if you just, back in the old days, you put the TV on, it makes this like static noise, right?
Uh-huh.
So the maracas are kind of reminiscent of that. Or like when you hear rain, and you can't decipher one raindrop from another. It's just making all kinds of noise.
Right.
So what does
Very
yours
true.
sound like?
Here's goes mine here.
Alright, mine are beans. Alright, let's see if we can do a comparison. Let's see if you guys at home can tell the difference in sound between our two.
It's kind of hard to distinct it.
Yeah, what do you think? I think yours sounds a little
Like
different.
lighter.
Than mine.
Yeah, because I feel like they're a little lighter.
I definitely feel like, and maybe I'm just making this up, but I definitely feel like I can tell that yours are big, slightly bigger than mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just by the sound. And versus this. Like that sounds like they're smaller.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Or they have like less density in them. Like
Because they're just.
think about it, right? Because the macaronis have less space. Those sound heavier. Yours actually sound heavier.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so there might be some quality of like the size and the mass of the objects in here
Mhm.
versus those. Like the pasta's a little probably lighter than the dried beans, but also they're bigger, so they take up more space,
Right.
which means they're less dense.
And all these
Yeah.
different shapes too. And some of them are hollow. But like you said, they're pretty large in size.
So we're making music.
Yeah.
It's probably right now not the best. We're not trying to pull out Shakira right now.
No. Although we could try.
There
Put
goes-
a song in the comments if you want us to try to play it. We could try. I'm definitely willing.
I love your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Especially happy birthday.
The rice.
Oh no.
Yeah. I personally, the rice and this metal does something for me. Like that's the jam. And we're back!
Sorry about the technical difficulties, but
Shout
we're
out to Trish again.
getting
She
us
got us
back
back.
on track.
Yes. We're back. And we're ready.
Ready to make more music.
Yes.
So, Lyric,
Yes.
what does music mean to you?
Oh, very good question. Very good question. And this is I didn't have time to plan for this question too, so that's good. Music to me, I don't really play any instruments or anything like that. I played the viola when I was really younger, and got into it and loved it. But mainly now it's just like the love for it. And there's not really like a genre I don't listen to be honest. but it's like that's usually what I do in my free time. I like just jam music. I mean, I'm jamming in the car. I'm jamming when I'm at home doing whatever. It kind of because music can speak a lot of things, you know, like it can say a lot, and so that's what I just love about it. It's like a very emotional thing. I think my name came from a movie though. My name is Lyric. I don't really I like to sing. Maybe this is my debut. No, but I don't sing professionally or anything like that. But to me, music is just beautiful, and it's pretty cool to see just like the different how it's evolved and different things people do with it. You know, like it can really bring people together. It's always at a function, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like the music that everyone knows. I love that when there's like, you know, everyone can come together and be like sing the same song, do the electric slide, that type of stuff. So. Yeah. How about you?
That's a great point because you see it. It's very multicultural, right?
Yes.
Especially like in America, we listen to all kinds of music, but it's mostly with English lyrics.
Yes.
But the rise of BTS has shown that music transcends cultures and languages, which I think is super cool,
it's
right?
Dope.
They have like a pop feel, but they integrate some of that Korean sound.
Yeah. And you can't help but like you're like, oh, I'm jamming right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Here in New Mexico, we get some of that mariachi.
Yes, which is like to the soul, right?
Right.
You're like, oh.
There's a little bit of country sometimes.
Yes.
Some hip hop, some pop. We got it all here.
Right.
You hear it not just in like songs, right? We use it in storytelling a lot of times.
Yeah.
And movies are made. There's like always some songs are part of the soundtrack, but there's also just like sounds and vibes that kind of like put you in the mood. Yeah. Anybody go to a haunted house, right? It's almost Halloween time, right? So the spooky sounds are going to be coming out, and those sounds will set your mind into like what it's going to be like. It's,
right.
It's
the classic.
like, yeah, exactly. So you're kind of on edge. It's very emotional, like you said.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's interesting to me. And scientifically speaking, there's a subtle difference between sound and music. Sound is just like what we were talking about earlier, the vibrations. But music, believe it or not, is actually a little bit more mathematical. So it's like the timing of the notes and the frequencies themselves. So they're they call them harmonics.
Yes.
And so the when all that stuff comes together, our brains process that in terms of patterns, and then we hear music.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like a tree falling, kaboom, explosions. Although there are some people on like YouTube who are adding all of that stuff and really pushing the boundaries of what it is to be music.
It's true.
So I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
So we've made maracas, right? And we made drums. Lyric, what else are you going to teach me to make today?
So what we're going to make now, which is one of my personal favorites, is the rubber band harmonica. Okay? So it's going to be... It's not going to sound like your classic harmonica, one of your like metal ones like that. Like we're not going to have that. But this is a really good way to do this at home. And so figure out different materials you can use for this. What we're going to use, we have 2 jumbo popsicle sticks. And I was even talking with Anthony before this. I think we'll even try this today to try with some smaller popsicle sticks because I've only made it with these bigger ones before. And what we're going to also grab is a thicker rubber band like this. And you think you have one there with you already.
Thicker one?
There's this one in here that's huge too, but let's not try that yet. We're going to try one of these guys. And then you'll just need these 2 smaller ones.
So I need 3 rubber bands total?
3 total.
Got it. So I have 3.
Yes, sir.
2 small ones, 1 bigger one, 1 fatter one.
And then this part is the part that's really cool to mess with. Do you feel like using the straw or the matchsticks?
I'll try the matchsticks. Maybe use the straw.
Dope. Okay. And so I have these smaller cut straws. They just have to be long enough so they're going to fit like this on our harmonica.
Yeah, and my matchsticks, just so comparison, they're not much bigger, like Lyric was showing, than the popsicle stick. And they're about the same size as the straws.
Yeah.
So we want them pretty small. If you want to measure it out, it's probably about 2 inches.
Right on. And so what we're going to do, go ahead and grab one of your sticks first.
Stick.
And you're going to get your thicker rubber band, and we're going to put it on here. This part is always the part that's a little bit tricky.
We want to get it on like lengthwise?
Lengthwise, yep.
So
just like this.
Rubber band.
I don't know if they can see for the people here. And so once that's on like that, this is the part that's important. So you don't want to put your matchstick, your straw, whatever you're using, under the rubber band. You want to set it right on top like this. And then I get the other one, the other straw, or the other, what are these called?
Popsicle
sticks.
Craft sticks sometimes.
Crafty. And then I put it on top. And then this will go on the other side, but it's always good to do one side at a time. So it's going to just go in there just like that.
Got it.
Pinch it down really good, and then secure it. So what I'm going to do is put the rubber band on the shorter side here.
Oh, I see what
And
you're
just
saying.
tie it like a hair tie, just to secure.
What's a hair tie?
Right?
Speaking
A
of
tie for the
we
hair.
had someone say they really like Anthony to grow his hair.
Who is saying these sorts of things?
Right.
Leonard, and you know who that is.
That's funny. He said,
He's like, I want to grow hair out.
And then you'll do the same thing to the other side.
Does it matter how tightly I
It's a good
tie
question.
the rubber band?
It does matter. It just depends on kind of, again, the type of sound you want it to make.
Got it.
So maybe try it tighter. Like you look at mine compared to Anthony's once he's done here. So mine has a decently sized like gap in between because of the straws, and Anthony's is a little bit smaller. And so some of yours might come out way tighter. So if you want to put the rubber bands really tight, you can pinch it like this. But let's just try ours out how it is. So all you do is on the side here, just like how you would a harmonica, you
Oh, I can hear it a little. It's probably also worth mentioning that, like, my popsicle stick is a little bowed, so
Mine
it kind of sticks out a little bit. So if you find flat ones, you can try that and compare it to
right.
these ones. So what do? You kind of pinch it and blow, or?
Yeah, you don't even have to really pinch it. You just there you go. But you can try to pinch it.
Oh, splinters.
Ouch. Be careful with the
Be
splinters.
careful, yeah. Don't rub your mouth along it.
So there's a difference, like Anthony was saying. If I don't like pinch, if I just hold it like normal, that's kind of what that sounds like. Versus I'm gonna push it down. Hey!
Then you're gonna finish it, yeah. There we go.
Now we need song requests. Any song requests?
One thing I'm learning about these is that, you know, the space between the popsicle sticks and maybe even the rubber band matters. That's what gives you those different sounds.
Yep.
It's hard to demonstrate with this, but we kind of have this larger version here. It doesn't work exactly the same way. But this thing, you spin it, and we'll demonstrate in a second. And as you spin it, these giant rubber bands that we have around here, they vibrate. And that vibration gives the hum that you're about to hear. Lyric's really good at this. I'm going to pass the baton.
It's pretty fun because it's like a little bit more aggressive. It's like one of my favorite things. Were you able to hear it? Were they able to hear it? I can do it again.
Just give us a Facebook thumbs up if you can
Well,
hear
you gotta,
that sound.
so there is like a 5 second.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's kind of what's going on with the kazoo is the rubber is vibrating and the wood is vibrating and you get this like interesting buzz noise.
I can't get it. Woo!
You gotta go faster.
Woo! I want to try my left arm, but I don't
It's
think
the
I
new
did.
shake weight.
Literally.
Oh, there you go.
It is the new shake weight. Like all back here, triceps. Very cool. Right?
I love this thing.
Yeah.
This was made to us by Explora alums Daniel and Andres.
And yes, they could hear it.
Shout out.
Perfect.
Good, nice.
You spin it this way, right?
Oops. Either way. Oh, wow! The finesse. Nice. The wrist. It was all in the wrist.
I guess it's in the wrist. just like in music, right? It's all in the wrist. Sometimes in the hips.
Oh.
We probably have time for one last thing.
Yeah,
Alright, what do we got
perfect.
left?
The last thing we have are straw oboes. We just call these straw oboes. So all you need for this one is a straw and some scissors. And
Someone also mentioned that was kind of like a didgeridoo.
Yes, a didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Didgeridoo.
Shout out
Didgeridoo.
to Australia,
Yeah.
home of the didgeridoo.
It's probably the best name of instrument I've heard. That's cool. All right.
So I have my
And
straw.
so we have our straw. This part, you'll have to use your teeth a lot. So what we're going to do, basically, we're just going to get the straw. We'll leave it at the length it's at for now. And we're going to flatten it out. And so the best way I found to flatten these out is to get your teeth and just kind of pull the straw through like that carefully.
And were we doing the whole thing or just like...
Just the
tip?
top of it.
Just the top?
Just the top. That's a great question. Yeah, I'd say like a fourth. Not even quite a fourth of the way down. You want it to kind of be flattened out.
Mm-hmm. For all of you Super Mario players, do your best Chomp Chomp impersonation and bite down on this.
And we're just getting it nice and flat.
This is the highlight of our video as we chew on straws for the next 30 minutes.
You're welcome.
So how flat are we trying to get this here?
About to where I have it right here is a good place to have it. Because once you start to use it, you'll see that it'll be, I can show you guys closer. Is that good? Trish, can you see?
Yeah.
So that's about how flat it is
I think I
compared
broke
to the
one.
back. Yeah. And there's a few ways you can cut these. You can cut it simply like by going and taking the ends off, or making a V. Because they'll make different sounds, I believe, if you do them. I usually do this way.
Okay.
So how about I try to do the V, and you just cut the ends off like this.
Okay, so not making it a V at the point, but just kind of chipping that.
Yeah, just cut the edges off, and I'll make the V.
Okay.
So we can see what difference we have.
Sounds good. And don't worry, folks, we will sanitize these scissors afterwards.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Ooh, this takes a lot of,
So is that looking good?
yeah, I would even make it pointier.
Pointier?
A little bit pointier. So here's an example of mine here. And then Anthony can show you his.
Like that?
That's beautiful.
Cool. So you got like a snake's tongue, and
Right.
I have like a needle point. So you can see.
Nice. And then, let me see if I can get it. I'm going to flatten it with my hand just a little more.
So I want to flatten more of it.
Yeah, because I'm having a hard time getting mine to make the sound, which usually just means it's either too flat or not flat enough.
Oh, I did it.
He got it.
This was
I'm
my
still-
first time, folks.
I'm getting nothing. The sound.
Tough.
It can be. He
You
got
can
it
definitely
though.
feel the point when it starts working, because
Yes.
right when the air hits the tip,
You
that
feel
you,
it
you feel a vibration in your mouth
on your
as you do
lips. Yeah. I'm gonna try this other shape. Yes. Yeah. That's awesome. And so what Anthony could try with his now, because we've left our straws completely long, if you start to cut it, so maybe make a cut like down here and see if
See what
anything's
happens?
different. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can
Yeah.
get that sound to be consistent again. I'm losing it.
The sounds are pretty funny too.
But I do notice that it's like getting higher pitched. It was like deep, and now it's not so deep.
Yep.
That's getting weird.
No, right?
So I have these. Well, you still work on yours. I have these like banging tubes that we used to have in our sound exhibit, and these are a good example of how this oboe is working. Because if you notice, they're different heights, and there's we have more that go even smaller than this.
Right.
But the length of the tube actually affects what the sound is like. So
Yes, sir.
the oboe, I told you that I could feel it vibrating, and I was feeling the vibration in the tip here, and it was like making my lips jiggle too. But it's also vibrating the straw. So the longer the straw, the deeper that sound is. And as I cut it shorter, the vibration doesn't have as far to vibrate.
Mhm.
So it vibrates less and less, and you hear it higher and higher pitch. And if I hit this tube, and with this, it's actually an opposite kind of effect. If you hear I hit the big tube,
Mhm.
and it sounds higher pitched. When I hit the smaller tube, it definitely sounds much deeper.
Right.
And our fans are so into it that they're calling directly into Explorer right now as we speak.
And mine, I could not get it, but that's all right. If you're having trouble with that at home, the best thing to do is like try to flatten it out more. Sometimes if you like bite it too much, it's just that it's too flat. Yeah, with mine, I think I'm making it too flat now.
Now my lips permanently feel like they're vibrating.
Right? And they're pretty loud. They're pretty decently sounding.
And
Yeah.
that's how you know it's time to stop, right? When your lips are tired. And
Yes.
You're done with the music. You're over it.
Right.
Is there anything that you want to say, Lyric, before we go?
No, just thank you guys for everyone who's watching, and see what different things you can create. Because that's one of my like fondest memories as a child too. Even if you're not a child, keep making music like this. You guys probably have instruments at home, but like banging on drums and just making music, making noise. Because it starts as noise, right?
Right.
First, but then it can become. And then we do also have back here.
Oh yeah, shout
From
out.
Sheldon, who works here at Explorer. He's also in the room with us. If you want to give a hey.
Hi.
Yeah, he's back there in the back. He printed this. It's not done. He wants me to let all of you know, because it's not. It's not. A violin, a 3D printed violin here, and it's sick. He said this bass part took like a day and a half. This was about a day here for the sensor, and then the handle was like some hours. But so this is an example of like making, right?
Right.
How it can just progress. I mean, and there's just so many different materials you can use. This is crazy. I've never seen something like this. So he still has some pieces to print before he adds the strings and everything, but it's
a
pretty
work
sick.
in progress.
Yeah.
And we could do a live with that working when it's working.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to.
Sheldon's getting called out right
Now he's gonna have to learn how to play it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've forgotten. But that's about all I have to add.
Well, I
Yeah,
want to
thank
thank
you.
Explora and Science Fiesta for giving this opportunity to bring this to you. We hope that you keep making at home, and remember to be on the lookout for our Make at Home videos appearing on YouTube's. I think they're going to be Mondays and Thursdays.
Yes. And it'll be starring me and Anthony here.
And some of our interns.
Some of our interns. They did an amazing job. They
Yeah.
really held it down. So it was a lot of fun.
Bye, folks.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
We'll just wave until we're off camera.
Robot.
Oh.